And we're back. I do want to talk about Episode 7, Star Wars.
Okay.
Now, Ani, you said you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet because at the time, I was interested. I wanted to go, but we got living on the island, we have a shorter movie cycle than most people.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to do the normal run, we have to go to the mainland. I mean, the mainland will carry it for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. We get ours changed every 2 weeks, basically, unless it's something that's popular, because we only have really 2 movie theaters on the whole island. We don't have chains. We're one of them, the one up in Oak Harbor, is part of one chain, but we really don't have. Unless I went to Anacortes, which is it was still off the island, or I went to one of the major cities. We don't have, we don't have the month runs of movies. We don't have the, so by the time I thought about it, or by the time I was really excited about it, it was already gone, so it's like bummer. It's one of those other ones I have to add to my list. I don't know how long my list of movies is anymore.
Rosemary, have you seen Episode 7?
I have, yes.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, when I went to see it, I was gun shy. I walked in expecting another Jar Jar Binks. My defenses were up, like insanely high. Did you have that experience?
Yeah, I was exactly the same. Yeah. I kind of went because other people wanted to go and see it, if I'm honest.
I was really, and I haven't seen Rogue One yet because, first of all, my brother came back. He says, "Have you seen the new Star Wars movie?" And I said, "No, not yet." And he said, "Well, they don't do the scroll up intro in a galaxy far, far away." And I was like, "How dare they?" Then I looked into it and realized that it's a Star Wars story. It's not Star Wars. So I think they did that to establish this is not Star Wars. This is the same world, completely different story. Kind of like the Ewok Adventure. Has anyone seen the Ewok Adventure?
No.
Yeah. Talk about a lost treasure. To buy this movie is about $150. I checked. The Ewok Adventure was written around the time that they released A New Hope. It is all about the Ewoks, same universe, absolutely not.
Of the Ewoks.
It can't be written by the same. The Ewoks didn't come into play till.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Return of the Jedi. It was around the same time period.
Okay.
Same Ewok characters are in it. Wicket is in it. It's all about Wicket.
Oh my goodness.
You can get it on YouTube for free. It is on YouTube. Google Ewok Adventure. I grew up with this movie. Again, the signs were there and I had no clue. I grew up watching the Ewok Adventure. I introduced my kids to it just recently. In fact, that was the first Star Wars movie, was the Ewok Adventure. It is for little kids. It is a beautiful introduction to the science fiction universe, the Star Wars universe for children. And it was done by George Lucas. Gorgeous film. Like I said, it's $150 if you try and get this thing on VHS. It's not available on DVD. So I don't know what my tangent is. I'm just telling you about the Ewok Adventure because it's that cool. So, I didn't see the Rogue One, and to me, I'm like, okay, so it's like the Ewok Adventure in the sense that it's, it doesn't have in a galaxy far, far away. It's same universe, but it's not the same thing. So, I was forgiving with that. But when I wanted to see Episode 7, first of all, it was no different than sitting down with A New Hope. It really felt like 4, 5, and 6 all over again.
Good.
They brought back everybody from the cast. Everybody was back. And the one thing that really, really sits home with this story is Stan Sudan. I'm going to give him a shout out. He's in my writers group, and he is an elderly gentleman. And he came back after seeing Episode 7, and he said, phenomenal. I was one of the first who stood in line in A New Hope. It is the same thing. It is the same feel. It is the same movie. It is. He likened his experience with Episode 7 to Episode 4 back when he first went and saw, and it was that alone speaks volumes. Mm-hmm. So I sat down and it plays through, and of course you see all the characters, and I can't say Debbie Reynolds. It's not her name. Carrie Fisher. And I grew up watching Debbie Reynolds, so I know who she is. For if you don't know, Debbie Reynolds was in Singing in the Rain. She was trained by Gene Kelly. I've watched so many of Debbie Reynolds movies. So I know this woman inside and out. Love this woman to pieces. She is also the daughter of Carrie Fisher.
No, she's the mother.
I'm sorry, yes, the mother. Carrie Fisher is her daughter, yes. And Eddie Fisher, she was married to Eddie Fisher before Eddie Fisher left her for Elizabeth Taylor. So, like, this family has a lot of Hollywood history. When Carrie Fisher came on stage, it was, I burst into tears. I'm going to cry again. It was like looking at Debbie Reynolds. It was astounding to see her. So for me, when I got to this moment when Princess Leia comes out, I was looking at her mother all over again. And it was just, I can't watch episode 7 without saying that. But that was one of the many, many things that I adored about episode 7 was there was just so much about episode 7, and they had a lot of huge shoes to fill. I mean, you had BB-8 making his debut, and he was filling the shoes of R2-D2. You had a lot of characters come in, and I think episode 7 gives you that feel like they're passing the torch to the new generation, which you don't see with Doctor Who. You do not see that with Star Trek. Mm-mm. With Star Wars, they very much pass that torch on to the next generation. Like, okay, we're not going to be here much longer. Unlike Doctor Who, we can't just regenerate and come back as somebody new. And we're not going to come in and reboot. I did not get that with 7. It was you have some big shoes to fill. And I think they tried to do that with episodes 1, 2, and 3, and they flopped that. But with episode 7, it was very much here is the Olympic torch. Carry on.
I completely agree. It felt like it had the atmosphere, it had the mood, it had the feel of the original films. And I completely agree with that. And it's like that is either a massive positive. I mean, it was completely obviously what they were going for.
Yeah.
Or you can see it as a negative. So for me, it was a positive.
Yeah, it was.
But there were a lot of emotional and really clever moments.
Yeah.
So I mean, it worked for me.
And
there were just a couple of moments. There were just a couple of moments where I thought, oh, you've slightly overdone that imagery.
Yeah,
oh, you've slightly overdone that thing.
Just a little bit, yes. And there were moments with the writing. The writing in itself, there were a couple moments where they brought in that wonderful character. I cannot remember the Stormtrooper character. Cannot remember his name.
Yeah.
Phenomenal character. He came in, and I'm holding back spoilers here, Ani, so it's okay. Yeah. When he came in, he had a few lines. They were very modern lines.
Yes.
You could tell they were appealing to that modern audience, but they weren't overdone. And I really, when I heard some of his lines, I just held my breath going, oh my God, they're going to ruin this. They're going to botch it. Like they did with Zsa Zsa, but they did. And it was definitely there's that dialogue slightly appeals to the newer, younger audiences. But it's really, when you were done with the film, you just went, see him? He's good enough to wear so-and-so's shoes. Yeah, see her? She's good enough to carry on the
That's
cool.
Approve. That's very cool because I do have to say I was, part of my reluctance to see Star Wars 7 was because I had been burned on the reboot of Star Trek. I had been burned on the, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, yes, 1, 2, and 3 did carry on. You're talking to somebody who hears those first 3 notes of the theme and starts conducting the orchestra. I mean,
it's so much better.
We had a Star Wars night on at the Mariners game, and they played those first 3 notes, and I was crying. I was actually literally conducting in my seat. You want to hear Star Wars the right way. I still can't hear Star Wars on my speakers without thinking about that night because we had one shot. We had the seat right where the speaker was right behind us. You put Star Wars on that big a system, and just let it play with the fireworks that they did, and it was just, oh man,
Rosemary.
it was awesome.
Ani,
Yes. Sorry,
no, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm getting sentimental
You're
here.
fine. Rosemary, Ani is a music lover and composes. Ani, Rosemary is a music lover and composes.
Ah, no wonder I like you so much.
I was talking to Rosemary prior to the conversation, and we got into music, and it exploded with like, I talk. And the whole time we were talking, I was thinking, Ani's gonna love this conversation.
Yeah, because music, because of my eyesight, music, you know, my ears and music have been the rhythm of my life. It's really the to me, music is just alive.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks volumes about people. It speaks volumes about the culture. It speaks, you know, that's why I can't listen to certain genres, because it just doesn't sit right with me. And nor could I listen to Pink Floyd because of the subsonics, you know, in it.
Love Pink Floyd.
I love The Wall.
Well, I can listen to The Wall, but anything else, anything like his Dark Side of the Moon, anything else, even if it's playing just on the radio, he uses weird frequencies that just wiggle their way in my head, and I am ready to go deck somebody.
I can't do this anymore. We just got done talking about how I haven't heard it. After we're done here, I'm going to be playing the Dark Side of the Moon. I've never heard it.
Okay. Well, you could go play the Dark Side of the Moon and enjoy it. I don't mind other people enjoying it. I just can't be in the room.
I'll kick you out for that. When I play it, I'll make sure you're not around.
Okay, good.
So I'm just like, I haven't heard it yet, and I just
Yeah, I mean, I'm a complete music fanatic, and it's a question I always put out if I go into events. What I usually do is I tend to play something that's in one of my books, or play something that's one of my favorites, like Nirvana or Amy Winehouse, who's amazing. That's another one for you to write down if you haven't.
What's the name again?
Amy Winehouse, who is
Winehouse.
Yeah, she was a British singer.
She killed herself, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was trying to, politely say that, but she was absolutely amazing singer. So I'll play something by her, and then underneath say, and put your favorite song, so that while we're doing this event in the background, we can have all these songs going. Because I just, while I'm writing, I play music. I just have to have something going, because I absolutely love music. And I think that, it's absolutely, it's part of who you are. It's part of your life. And I think it speaks to different people, and at different points in your life, you need something different as well. You tend to move on. You tend to move on to different styles of music.
Yeah, John Williams is just astounding.